Welcome back to Cinema Cult. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Monto.
And this will be our second episode of Video Game Month. Thank you for joining us in 2021. We're glad to have you back. We are doing the 2001 thriller comedy Tomb Raider. Matt, this is your
Thriller
pick.
comedy?
This is your pick,
International
right?
feature.
Did you consider this your pick, Matt? Okay, I feel like Matt...
This is the only one that I was like gung-ho to do.
Why don't you just take this podcast? Why don't you lead it?
This is his Hudson Hawk.
This is
This is his Hudson Hawk.
I did not like this movie when it came out, and I don't like this movie now, but I really do like the video game series, and I don't think this movie is as bad as you guys think it is.
Wait, we haven't expressed our opinions yet.
Just,
on it.
I can smell it off of both of you.
Do you smell what the Honto is cooking?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He thinks
Welcome back,
Tomb Raider's
1999.
But
I want you for back. No.
I don't think this movie's that bad.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Honto.
I never played the games.
Yeah, I didn't really. I played the newer games,
Okay.
like the more like Uncharted version of Tomb Raider.
Okay.
They're pretty cool.
I watched Matt play these games like nonstop. I might have played some of the first one, but my experience is just kind of through his eyes. Matt was obsessed with these games.
Dude,
man.
yeah. This was I think it was like the first like 5 or 6 these are like day one buys for me, and I had to play them. And they were all like a year apart, so it was like next year a new one, next year a new one, to the point where they like burned it out. But yeah, I honestly there is a special nostalgia I have for this series of video games, and I think there hasn't been a proper video game adaptation of it, and we'll get to that.
Did you watch the new one?
Yeah, and I did watch a new one. New one's actually not too bad.
I need to check it out. Yeah,
It's not too bad.
I hear some good things about it.
I would have picked that, and it's not bad. I would have picked that if this one wasn't more of the popular pick.
Sure.
And I want to talk about
The
this.
more video game accurate,
Yeah.
as far as like the character design.
Yeah,
goes.
because like honestly, it's a pretty like the new one is like what you're talking. It's based off the Uncharted.
Yeah, it's
Tomb
based
Raider
off the
games.
newer ones. Yeah.
It's pretty much on the money for what those games are putting out.
Cool.
Like,
yeah, maybe I'll check it out.
Not as like survival intense, but I don't know. It's not far off.
Okay.
I don't really have any desire to see the new one. It just didn't. Like, I remember watching the trailer and just being like, eh.
That's
I don't
that's what I kind of felt like too.
Really? Okay.
But it's got Walton Goggins. I like that guy.
Who is that?
Yeah, Walton Goggins did a good job.
We
in it.
talk about this every single time I bring him up.
Okay.
Hateful Eight. He's in
Never saw it.
Justified.
Never. Oh, is this the guy from Vice Principals?
Yeah, Vice
Okay.
Principals.
All right.
Funny guy.
Yeah, he's on that new show.
What is it
Like
called?
Unicorn?
Yeah, that's
Is
what
it
I think.
Unicorn?
Yeah. I was about to say the same thing like Unicorn.
Is that right? So we'd all have seen this movie, correct? The
Yeah.
original?
Yep.
Me and Chris saw it in the movie theaters on his birthday.
Oh, this is your birthday
Yeah,
party
just to
movie.
show how good I am to my brother, I saw the movie he wanted to see on my birthday.
Yeah.
What did you want to see in place?
Were you going to ask what movie it was? I just
Yeah.
told you.
No, what movie did you want to see in place of Tomb Raider?
Anything except for Tomb
Yeah,
Raider.
but there was a reason why Chris wanted to see this, and it's because like a certain band did a certain song for the movie that was off a certain album that came out right around the same time.
That's true. They probably did entice me
What
to
is
see
that?
this movie.
You'll find out.
Watch the movie.
Oh, listen to the episode.
Let us elevate you.
Nice. So, Tomb Raider. What does it cost to make a Tomb Raider? Honto.
60 million.
Damn it, I was going to say that.
All right,
Oh,
Matt,
get out of here, Wikipedia.
61 million.
115 million.
Holy shit.
How much did
default,
it
I
make?
guess.
I win.
How much did it make in the U.S., Honto?
I was like my Kiefer Sutherland from Stand By Me. He's like, I won. When he's going down, you know what I'm talking about? When he's driving the car and they played chicken with the
Oh,
other
yeah.
car. And he's- yeah.
I'm
That's
not
good.
as
Wow,
familiar.
that was
Not as familiar with that movie, so
Really?
I believe you.
that's a cute movie.
How much did the U.S. make? Or how much did this make in the U.S.?
120 million.
Okay. Matt?
I'm going to go with 145.
131.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, you won.
Cool.
How much did it make
won.
worldwide?
151.
Matt?
I'll stick with 160.
Okay. Well,
I think
worldwide,
I said
it
that.
made $274
Oh, my
million
Lord.
dollars.
Holy shit.
And
So Pete.
that probably has a lot to do with the reason that a sequel was made that I did not see.
I did see the sequel. I don't remember anything about it.
I don't think I saw it, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. How much do you think this has on Rotten Tomatoes? What score do you think it has on Rotten
I
Tomatoes?
saw this.
So don't guess then. You're getting
Yeah,
ready to guess.
I think I saw this. Yeah, because it was on the Letterboxd.
Okay.
If you get it
app.
spot on, you're a cheater.
Honto?
I told you I just saw it.
Well, you said you weren't sure, though.
I would guess, but go ahead.
17%.
Okay, it has a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Right.
This is almost less than half of what Mortal Kombat was.
Because Mortal Kombat is like
48.
48. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I will argue that this is better than Mortal Kombat.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
And
I'll say my answer for the end of the podcast.
Ooh.
I don't get it. Like, honestly, like
I don't get it.
I don't get it because I'm like, okay,
For
one thing I'm gonna
mock him the entire time.
John Hurd from Big.
one thing I'm gonna like constantly bring up on this
Put some
review
racquetball.
is that like there are every scene in this movie they're trying to do something with it. They're trying to do something
what I said
new.
with Mortal
They are
Kombat.
They're trying to, like-
certainly trying.
There's
something.
a lot of cool practical stuff in the movie. They're trying to do
what that
action-
robot in the beginning.
No, when she does like the ropes.
Yeah,
But like they're doing stuff with it that if it was any other video game movie, they would like not give a shit about.
right.
It's actually like okay, so the target demographic we talked about Mortal
Dude,
Kombat.
that's
being
in my notes. The
13
demographic for this is so weird.
Yeah, because you think it would be 13-year-old boys.
It's
There is one
30-year-old men for a podcast.
Yeah, and here it is, 30-year-old men. Here we are aging as time just goes by.
The movie was a slow burn.
The sands of time. But watching it this time, I'm like, this is more of like a demographic of like 13-year-old girls.
Yeah.
There's one sexy scene in the entire movie where it's like where
Daniel
I can imagine,
Craig
like,
getting out of the shower.
Yeah, no, that's for girls. But like, there's one scene where it's like, okay, I can kind of see that being angled at like guys, and it was a shower scene.
Yeah.
Which they filmed 2 of them for this movie, and only one of them made it in. But that I can see like that's aimed at 13-year-old boys. But the rest of it's like it's kind of a movie aimed for like 13-year-old girls. Like it's like a hey, here's a heroine for you to like kind of
Sure.
look at and.
I don't think it was. I think they were aiming for the 13-year-old boys that were playing it.
I think the 13-year-old boys.
I think so.
I don't know because it's just there's not I guess there's not much of it there because she's more of a powerful heroine than
Yeah, for sure.
than she is like eye candy that she is in the video game. How about that?
I mean, all the skin tight shirts that she was wearing and the design of her hoo-haws.
Oh, that is a thing too. Like
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, because like we're going to talk about boob size here right now on the podcast.
I mean,
for scientific reasons.
You don't have to give us updates about what you're about to talk about.
Yeah.
Coming
Here we
up.
go. Coming
I'm
up.
about to tell
In
you.
literally
Boobs.
3 seconds, I'm going to talk about
We
this.
don't have them.
But I mean,
I guess in the video game, she's
they based it off of the character model.
yeah. Oh, in the video, and then I'm sorry to get on the boob thing. She's like 34 double D, I think,
my
in the
God.
video game. And like they didn't want to do that for the movie because they're like that's goofy as shit. But like they had to like give her something to. That was a trivia thing on there.
Okay.
They had to give her like something to have some sort of a bust line, I guess.
Sure.
But yeah, so I don't think this movie is. I think they tried to target for 13-year-old boys, but it kind of comes off as like I think girls would like this movie better.
Yeah.
So, Hanto, let's go ahead and talk about some of the cast and crew real quick.
Directed by Simon West. The only thing I've really seen from him is Con Air and Expendables 2.
Oh, so he's got.
So Con Air's all right. Con Air's
I like
all right.
Expendables 2 is pretty good.
Maybe Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I think it's cool.
Con Air is cool in premise. I feel like I remember watching it and like
Not good execution.
Yeah, I
There's a
remember
lot
being
of-
kind of like this is more goofy than.
There's a lot of weird parts in that movie that come across as funny rather than like a thriller, action
Yeah,
thriller.
Yeah, like when Dave Chappelle lands in that car.
Or like when Nicolas Cage busts that guy's nose in his brain in the beginning.
Yeah,
Speaking of Simon West, do you remember a movie called Simone with Al Pacino?
Is that Simon West?
No, did you ever see it?
No, I haven't.
I didn't either.
It's kind of like Her, I guess.
Yeah, but it was like, I don't know.
Did-
nah, I didn't see it either.
Yeah, keep going. I had nothing
Wait,
to
what
do
did it have
with
to do with anything?
Oh, just ask.
Okay.
Keep going.
Movie stars Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft.
Which I will say is perfect casting.
Yeah, this is her
pretty
breakout.
good.
This is her breakout.
Cause
I mean,
she-
when she's popular,
Because
but
she had
this
done,
is like
she
the
had just
Golden
done
Mater.
Girl Interrupted, won a Emmy, I think, for that
Yeah,
movie.
and that was her breakout movie in '99, I think.
Yeah, it was with Winona Ryder.
Yeah, but this is the one that like I feel like.
And she had
really
also just
elevated her
done.
to
She had
stardom.
also just done Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage. I think that movie is like 1999.
Okay.
I think. And then she was also in Hackers, The Bone Collector, and Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow.
If you had to guess off the top of your head, what would be your favorite Angelina Jolie movie?
Hackers,
Really?
maybe.
Gia.
Ah,
Why are you laughing?
I'm probably
Decent
say,
movie.
Yeah, it's actually.
I might say Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
It's a fun movie.
I think it's a blast. I liked Wanted a lot when that came out.
That movie is not good.
Really?
Not
No,
good.
I don't. Honestly, I don't have a favorite of hers. Not that she's not. It's not that she's like not a good actress or anything like that. I don't know. I'd have to really like. Now you brought that up, I'm like kind of like blinking.
Oh, great! Matt's gonna pull another Grace Jones midway through the podcast. Like, Grace Jones. I know what I liked. Who else we got in this?
We got her dad, John Voight, playing Lord Richard Croft.
Which, did you not think he was gonna fake his death and show up at the end of the movie?
Oh, I totally thought. Yeah, I thought he was in this more.
So
I actually thought he was part of the adventure.
The entire time I was waiting for him to like.
I thought it was
Last Crusade.
Yeah,
buddy.
I thought it was. That's your favorite Angelina Jolie movie.
I was waiting for him to pop halfway through, and I was like, I wasn't dead.
Is that his Anaconda?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to go for. Yeah, thank you.
Dude, we should cover that movie. I haven't watched that.
I haven't seen that in years.
Since the old
been
videotape.
VHS. Yeah.
What is his accent? I know they've talked about that
It's
before.
not
but
real.
It's Cajun.
No, it's.
Does he try to be Cajun in it?
No, it's some
Okay.
weird.
I don't think it's. I think it's a
Yeah.
made up accent, to be honest.
So,
But he's also in an excellent movie called Runaway Train with Eric
I
Roberts.
say Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues, previous episode. And then I'm actually just watching. I haven't finished it. My rewatch, but Enemy of the State, which I really
Oh,
love.
yeah.
I love Enemy of the
Enemy of the
State.
State is
Yeah.
a great movie.
Great cast.
Great cast.
Every
All-star
time I
cast.
watch it-
Jack Black, Seth Green.
Seth Green, yeah.
They got all the best people from Airborne
Yes,
to
they did.
return.
It's like a reunion of sorts. We figured that'd get the audience.
Tony Scott was a huge Airborne fan from the Cincinnati movie. We got Iain Glen as Manfred Powell. I best known from Game of Thrones as
This-
Sir Jorah Mormont.
He's the bad guy in this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It blew my mind when I was
Isn't
looking
it
this
crazy?
movie up, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "That is him."
Yeah,
Like,
Jorah. It's
yeah.
Jorah. Noah Taylor as Bryce, also Game of Thrones, and previous episode Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Wait, who's the guy that's?
Oh,
in
yeah,
this
he
stuff
is in
this
Life
season?
Noah
Aquatic.
Taylor, he plays the dad, I think, of in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Chocolate Factory?
The original?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, I heard
the,
it.
the new
It's
one, the Tim Burton one.
I
He
never
plays-
saw that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, obviously the remake. He's like
He's like 7
he's like
years old.
20 years old in this movie, Chris. Like, I mean, the dad in the original.
I don't know. I don't even know
His
what we're
Grandpa,
talking about.
oh, Grandpa Joe from the
Oh, you're naked at
60s.
10 years old. That's weird.
Who was he in this movie?
Bryce, he's like the guy. He's the Cody in Step by Step. He lives outside.
The Cody.
in the trailer.
That was good. That was good. He's the hacker.
Yeah, the hacker, exactly. And then surprisingly, we got Daniel Craig as Alex West. I
Yeah.
know him best from Cowboys and Aliens.
No
Next up,
laughs. I didn't-
next up,
Because I was like processing it. I was like,
That's what he knows him.
there's got to be a bigger
Chris,
role out there.
onto the movie.
Isn't it weird to watch Daniel Craig do an American accent?
Yes.
It slips in and out.
Yeah.
Like there's a part. Well, he's doing American throughout, but there's a part I can't remember.
It's the ADR stuff. There's anytime that you hear him, like there's a part where he's in the Cambodian temple, and you hear the ADR stuff of him yelling
Yeah.
at everybody, and it
Lara,
sounds
Lara.
it sounds
Lara.
weird. But like when he's
And then
on screen, you
He's
see him
like,
speaking.
"Hey, Laura."
Yeah, he sounds legit.
Yeah, it's a very weird and kind
It
of
is,
yeah.
But yeah, he plays Bond in the movie Spectre. We covered that previous
I
episode,
totally forgot we did that.
and
He's Inspector.
I think so.
Okay.
He's Inspector Gadget.
And then he's scheduled to show up in No Time to Die, which I don't know when that movie's coming out. It's
Yeah,
supposed to come out
April
last year.
2nd, I think.
Yeah, they're really banking on that movie. Like they're like, no,
They
like,
went. I think they went all in on this movie.
Yeah, because I think it's the last time he's being James Bond,
Yeah.
and they're like, I think they're gonna try to start a universe out of this one. So they're really banking on this one to be like, this is gonna grab everybody for the other James Bond movies.
Yeah.
Because I kind of have a feeling, and I'm gonna call it. I
You
think
gonna die?
yes.
I hope they don't do that.
I think either they're
It'd be
gonna
so
kill
silly.
him off, or he's definitely retiring at the end of this, and they're like, and he hands it to like somebody else, like you can be James Bond,
Yeah.
and it's
Dude, you know what'd be cool is that it
John
ended-
Heater, and he's like, what?
John Heater. What?
I don't want it.
New James Bond.
It'd be kind of cool as if it ends, and he's like, I got someone new I'd like to give the James Bond title to.
Oh, that's an awesomely offensive
That was
accent, but go ahead, continue.
and
sorry to our British listeners.
Yeah.
and he
To our
Q's like-
listeners across the pond,
and
sorry.
Q's like, who do you want to give it to? And he's
I don't
like,
understand.
he's
Is that
like,
a pirate?
He's like,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Arr.
I give it to this girl, and then it's Lara Croft.
Oh, I do think they are handing it off to a girl, though.
I don't know, because she's like
legitimately
not in that preview whatsoever.
But I think they are.
I don't think they are.
Their goal is.
I think they are slating her. I'm going to call it now. Spoiler alert from the past. I don't know how this is working, but
this is the worst fortune telling I've ever seen.
Read my crystal ball.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. This is maybe.
Something's
give me your
gonna happen
money.
to you
Give me your
sometime
money.
in the future.
I'll read your future, I guess.
Maybe.
James Bond is already retired. They gave the 007 to the girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's going to be like, you need to come back for this mission. She's going to die, and then they're going to end with Daniel Craig survive.
Oh, I can see that.
surviving.
Okay. I can see that too.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's
So
pretty
she's
good.
like already 007, like how they're saying like the female 007. She's going to be 007 in this movie, but she's probably going to die.
Okay.
Hot take. I think Daniel Craig really got the shaft as Bond.
I think so too.
I
Because
think he was a good Bond, and
Quantum
they just,
is not really a good movie. Great theme song by Jack White and Alicia Keys. Skyfall's good. Spectre's terrible. And then who knows how this...
I
time
just
to die.
don't-
Casino Royale rules.
I just don't think they knew what to do with him. Like, I mean,
Thanks,
as far as
Doyle.
like,
Thanks. What?
Thanks,
Nope.
O'Doyle.
Who's O'Doyle?
You're like, Casino Royale rules.
Rules.
O'Doyle rules.
for our Billy Madison listeners. But like, I think they just kind of like they didn't know what to do with the character, and he got the shaft.
Well, there's
because
too
it was
many.
like-
I think there's too many. Like, I don't know. Was it the Broccoli family? Like who's like the people that are
the
in charge?
Broccoli family.
Yeah, I
That,
think
like,
there's too many like delays and like studio interferences.
well, and
or,
it's kind of nepotistic for them to be like passed down child to child.
Yeah, it's
and it's
stupid.
like
Yeah, you gotta get it-
instead
you
of
gotta-
like an art form, it's like it's passed down like a
like as a
an
Trump
oil,
administration.
like, yeah, exactly. Like it's passed down like a dynasty or something like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like
No,
no,
is that like your UK dynasty?
yeah,
Like a dynasty? Dynasty.
But it's yeah, so that, and I think that's the problem where it's like you're not getting people in
Yeah.
here that are creative to make.
They gotta
this.
get, like, a
Danny
Kevin-
Boyle got like pissed with it.
Yeah.
and to the point where he was making the new one. And he's like, I'm out of here.
like because he left creative differences. I think.
oh, and it's probably because they are creatively controlling that
Yeah.
thing as a product.
Yeah.
and he's like, because I was so excited to see a Danny
I was
Boyle
excited.
James
That
Bond
would
movie.
be cool
Yeah.
as hell.
I know.
Yeah, but Tomb Raider. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, speaking of, we got a nice, solid soundtrack that sounds like it's out of a Danny Boyle movie.
Oh yeah.
Very early is like train spotting, like
Yeah.
barrel, barrel,
Yeah.
barrel, barrel.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what that is. But
Don't
Every-
steal DVD.
Every song you heard on
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Channel 1. Remember Channel 1?
Oh, I do remember Channel 1. No, you used to watch it back in school, like every morning. It would be like Channel 1 News, and it was like 10 minutes long. And it's
Was
for
it like kids reading the news or something?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow, you really nailed that.
Wow. Oh, I read the future.
Maybe.
Crystal ball.
Maybe.
Ooh, something's telling me.
like
Something's
that.
telling me.
Maybe.
So to start off with Tomb Raider, it opens up with the scene where Lara Croft is fighting a robot. We're not supposed to know what's going on or why she's fighting this robot. Cool scene. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, it's a cool intro to.
All the robots that she fights in the first Tomb Raider game.
Well, it's
know.
very similar actually to the scene in Mortal Kombat when Johnny Cage is fighting
Goro.
and he's like, no.
Oh. I
At
see,
the beginning
yeah.
on the movie set, he's like, this is the part where you fall down.
Yeah.
Because the scene ends abruptly when she just looks at the robot and she's like, stop. And you're like, why is this robot stopping?
She's like, I
Rewind.
want to hear Outcast. And then she puts Outcast in the robot.
So the robot stops. It's all like this training mechanism that's put together by her.
Bryce.
Yeah, by her,
like-
her cue pretty much.
Yeah.
And then at this point, I would like to skip the next 40 minutes of this movie.
Please.
Because it is confusing.
Why?
I was actually confused too.
Okay, I don't know what this movie's about.
What do you mean? Okay, seriously, what are you guys confused about?
You
'Cause,
want to
like,
talk about a movie? I think this is more confusing plot than Mortal Kombat.
All right, questions? I'll screen them.
What's the triangle?
the triangle?
Yeah.
It's the power of the universe.
Okay, skip 40 minutes in the plot.
No, okay, but seriously, what are you confused about? Like,
Okay, so the whole plot of this movie is Lara Croft is John Voight's daughter.
yeah.
Lara Croft goes missing. There's an Illuminati plot to get this thing called the Triangle, which I
Yes.
guess he control of space and time.
Yes, it's like a time traveling device. Yeah.
So what does Lara Croft do for a living? What is
she's an adventurer.
She's a
like
Tomb Raider.
She's a Tomb Raider.
They
Okay.
call I guess Tomb Raider is a job because the main bad guy calls Daniel Craig a Tomb Raider, and then when they get Lara Croft in on the gig at the end, he's like, "Always better to have two Tomb Raiders."
That's a really cool way to put that, though. The way you like worded it, because I didn't see it that way, but I totally do now.
it happens
that
in the
it's
movie.
like I know, but they that's like a job title, like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
Tomb Raiders, but
Now
because they
based
name
off
drop they
that-
name drop it like 2 or 3 times in the movie.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider.
Based off that, what is a room raider?
Oh, a room raider is a hit show from MTV where people go and judge other people by how they kept their room.
It's true.
What is a refrigerator raider? Do you know the commercial? It's a milk commercial from the 90s, like the refrigerator raider.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah,
I don't remember that.
He's like jumping around. It's an animated cartoon.
Good reference.
Nice.
Dude.
Okay.
Refrigerator raider. Raider raider.
Any legit questions?
I just asked you.
I feel like none of those were legit. So you were lost for the first 40 minutes because you didn't know what a refrigerator was?
It's like, okay, so I'm not going through these.
That's all I got out of that.
So I'm not going to go through this 40 minutes scene by scene because
Okay.
there's nothing to talk about. Because all that happens is like
She
gets like a poem from her dad, and she visits this old guy.
All right.
And this
I'll
old
do
guy
it then.
looks at this
I will do
picture,
it.
and he's like, "Sorry, why'd she go see him?" And then
She-
like,
okay.
She does
so-
a Doc Brown, Lord Croft sends a Doc Brown letter like, hey, check the stairs.
Yeah.
And then sets off this whole...
No,
chain of
hold
events.
on. Okay. The planets are aligning.
Okay,
All right.
yeah.
The
Okay,
planets are
I'm
aligning.
remembering.
And the clock that her dad had is hidden underneath the staircase. And the clock decides to go off because the planets are aligning. So when she goes down there, she hears the ticking, breaks in, and then it's like, okay, the whole mystery is like, this clock just started ticking. What is it? She takes it to that guy to figure it out.
Oh,
what it
and
is.
he's in leagues with...
He contacts the Illuminati. They try to come and get it. And then he's like, I'll set you up with somebody who wants to buy it.
okay,
Or
So
who knows?
this-
I'm sorry, who knows about
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Which is
The main bad guy.
The main bad guy.
Dora, yeah.
Yeah, and then when she doesn't bring it, they break into her place to
While she's
steal it.
bungee jumping.
okay. Let's pause right there. I think you're off to a good start because I want to get through this first 40 minutes so we can
Yeah,
talk
you're
about the
fine.
fun
I
stuff.
just like you said it like confusing, like it was a Chris
I don't
Nolan
understand
movie.
this.
That
I'm like,
actually does help. That the Wikipedia synopsis does help.
Oh,
with
yeah,
that.
does it?
Yeah.
So this scene is cool. So I think it's like a meditation type thing, but Lara Croft puts on some classical music, and she kind of like jumps up and down.
the ropes.
Yeah,
With these, like,
it's
ropes that are-
bungee cords.
It's bizarre. I don't know what it is. It's cool. I think
Yeah.
it'd be awesome to
I
do.
honestly like, and this is why I think certain things are targeted towards like 13-year-old girls. I feel like this would be a thing that would be really cool if you had a mansion growing up and it'd be like the somersault thing, just doing
Right.
somersaults on these ropes. I mean, I don't know if it's directly targeted to 13-year-old
See, I would
girls,
say
but
boys as
it's kind of
well.
a
I don't think
cool
that's a
like
gender
it's kind of a
thing.
cool mansion thing. Like
I don't think it's a
to
gender
have.
thing at all. I think it would just be cool to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna bring this up anymore. Because I feel like it's just going to be a lot of that, where it's like, well, I don't see yeah, flawless victory. Where I feel like it's just going to be like, I don't see it that way, but I see it that way. But I think this scene's really like a cool idea to like.
It's a cool setup for like an action sequence.
Is this
that's about to
in
happen.
any of the video games?
No,
This
none
would
of
be
the-
an awesome. part
Nothing
to
is
play.
in this.
yeah,
video
nothing
game.
in this movie is in these video games.
'Cause
That would
if
be
I
such a
recall-
cool scene to play.
If I recall,
Up to that point.
in the video game, like it's all about her, like literally just tomb raiding, like
Yeah.
in temples and stuff. And then there's like a dinosaur at some point.
Which is my knock on the movies, is there is not enough tomb raiding, and it would
only-
be nice to have some dinosaurs.
I imagine you're the producer. You're like, everything's great so far, but I need more tomb raiding.
Yeah, because like honestly, like
oh, let me
I'll,
add this other Tomb Raider, I guess.
I'll tell you what my
Not
Tomb
what I asked
Raider,
for, but okay.
I'll tell you what my dream Tomb Raider movie would be when we get to it. But
Okay.
yeah, so this scene's really cool, and this is like I feel like this scene's very indicative of what they do throughout the entire movie. Is they try to make the scenes separate from each other by doing something different every time. Where it's like, okay, here's one on bungee. Like it's not just her doing gunfights the entire
Right,
time,
right,
But they do ones on her on bungee. They do like her fighting
Sled dogs.
stone guys, like. Yeah, so they do a lot of different things, like, and there's a budget here. I feel like that they're really,
Oh,
Paramount's
yeah.
really banking on.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And they do a lot of cool, like, and it's a lot of stuff's practical, so that's cool.
Yeah.
At one point, they like, and there's a lot of product placement where they're like Land Rover, GPS.
Yeah, what I feel like there's a couple other ones.
That Jeep
Can't-
she has is awesome.
Yeah,
I want that.
Is that the
Jeep.
one that's parachuting into
Yeah.
into Cambodia or whatever?
But this whole scene is awesome, and it's really fun to watch. But then after that, I fall off again because it's really trying to set up the story that I'm just really not following. Because then, like, I think after this is when she finds the book and cuts it open. Is that correct?
No, yeah. After this, like, she gets the letter, that William Blake poem, and then
okay.
she goes to the book, rips out the background, finds all the pieces of diary that her dad wrote,
Right.
and then he describes the whole thing.
And then I think at this point she's kind of like deciding like, okay, I have to go raid these tombs. Is that what she's pretty much doing at this point? Okay, so this first 40 minutes, get out of here. You're gone.
Get out of here.
I don't want to talk about you anymore. Because now she's landed on this island where all the bad guys are at as well.
Right.
Not an island, it's Cambodia, but it's a land-conjoined country, but go ahead.
Do you want to talk about this movie?
I just like the island of Cambodia.
I didn't know that.
This island called the United States.
Anyway, she lands and she finds out like the other team, it's Daniel Craig, the main villain. And
Yeah,
like,
because they
all
crossed
these-
paths earlier when she brings that device to the friend.
Yeah.
But he's like in leagues with the Illuminati clan. But yeah, she finds out that, oh no, my rival Tomb Raider is in leagues with this bad guy.
Yeah. And this is where they actually, well, I don't want to jump ahead, but this is when the movie falls off, but also kind of goes up as well, because all of a sudden she's seeing like spiritual figures or like
This I
premonitions.
don't like. I don't like
There's
this.
like ghosts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on. It's
Yeah,
very
the ghost thing
confusing.
it's a little cliche and stupid because it's
I find it. I don't know. I just find it kind of silly when they incorporate a lot of supernatural aspects, even though that's like all they do in the Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah.
But it just comes across as silly.
It doesn't fit in
But
this
what I
movie.
like about the Indiana Jones stuff is that
Doesn't come up,
they
like, up
keep
until
it
later.
separate, like minus Temple of Doom because it's all
Yeah.
over Temple of Doom. But they really keep the supernatural separate,
up
and
until
he
the
like
last
he discovers the supernatural
Yeah.
in all the movies. It's not like a ghost is guiding his way,
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what's weird about this is when it's like I don't really know like why these little girls keep telling. It's the same little girl or is it different little girls? They keep telling her like
Because
she
it
just-
happens.
she just
It
pops
happens
up.
when they're in like Russia.
Right.
I think it's Russia where they're at. But yeah, she's like talking to this little girl and then she's gone. Like I just don't understand what it has to do with this. Like it's just bizarre.
I think it's just the only way they could possibly drive the scenes forward.
It's like the little girl
I think it's
from
just-
Resident Evil. Y'all are going to die down here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think it honestly just
The Red
adds
Queen.
like it's trying to add some like dramatic weight to certain scenes or her quest because they can't keep shoehorning John Voight in every scene where he's like,
Yeah, or else you got to pay me more money for the stupid movie.
yeah, yeah.
His words, not ours.
I want to be second billed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Not
so
this guy.
She goes inside the tomb, and while she's inside it, it shows the bad guy and all of his like henchmen are trying to pull down the.
Which is Daniel Craig.
the wall.
He's like just straight up ruining this historical monument.
Well, no, I was gonna say like you have like dozens of people pulling
Oh
on this
yeah,
rope,
yeah.
and the main villain is just kind of sitting there in this chair, just like watching it all happen. So there's like 15 hours before this whole thing is over with, right?
Oh yeah, it's weird because they have very little time to do anything, and they
And
have
he
to
keeps
fly
cutting to
across
this
the
guy,
world. Yeah,
and he's getting massages.
Yeah.
He's sitting down in the chair outside where
Yeah.
people are working. Like at one point after this next scene where they're all together in the tomb, Lara Croft comes running out.
Yeah,
and
they're
it just
hanging
shows
out.
him, and he's sitting in the chair again, and he like stands up. Like you just got
yeah,
outside, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I was like,
my butt's tired.
I had written down. I was like, how long were these guys hanging outside before Lara Croft?
She-
like, how long was she in?
she was right
Yeah.
behind him.
Yeah,
yeah. And then like they all
we're-
chase her, and then Daniel Craig's like right behind her, like the only one behind her is like, "Hey,
Right.
you're gonna run away." It's like,
yeah.
what?
Don't do it, please.
So let's talk about this scene coming up here because I think this is one of the cooler scenes in the movie.
What, the temple?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go ahead, Matt. That's you.
They're in a temple. They fight. Okay, this is what I wish there was more tomb raiding going on.
Yeah.
And more puzzle solving.
And more like traps. Maybe some of the henchmen eat it or
Yeah.
something. You know.
Yeah, because I
Or it's
feel like
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Kind of like Last Crusade, where they send that guy to do the tests, and he gets his head knocked off.
yeah, I could see that because that'd be cool because then you could show off all the traps.
And
in
then
the
it also
temple.
shows like the bad guy. He's like, oh yeah, he just sends people off willingly.
Because this is where I'll knock the movie, and I hate I love adventure movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like treasure hunting movies.
Yeah.
Like Indiana Jones and that. There's not many made.
No.
But I think one of the cliches I absolutely hate is okay, so trying to come up with the motive of this original city who had this time traveling triangle, right?
Right.
And they're like, this is too powerful.
We
And
have to split
it's-
it and, you know.
instead of destroying it, they split it and go to separate
Siberia.
Siberia and Cambodia, separate places on the planet to like leave it there, right? But then like when they build these temples, instead of like making it a way for nobody to get a hold of it, they go through this weird trouble thing where it's like, well, why don't we put a puzzle in front of their way?
Yeah.
And they put a puzzle there, and it's like, I don't understand it. Like, do you want people not to have this, or do you just want it to be hard for them to get it?
Well,
Like,
and
what is the
to jump on
motivation
that-
between like getting rid of this triangle?
Well, to jump right on that, like they have these statues that come to life, which does not fit in this movie.
No.
And then they're just like foot soldiers. Like
Yeah,
it takes
a spear can like.
it's very
just-
easy to destroy them. So I agree with you. Like, what is the point of all
Yeah,
this?
and it's like if you were the only person in the world that had a nuclear bomb, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, this is too powerful, and I don't want anybody to have it. Like, you'd probably find a way to just dismantle it and get rid of it.
Right.
Like, you
right.
wouldn't like put it in a building and be like, well, what if we put
Maybe
all
put
these
this-
traps in the
put
way?
Put this Rubik's cube or this like little puzzle.
Yeah, and it's like not, and it wouldn't be like one of those things where it's like, if you got it, like I'll give you a pat on the back, like good job.
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
really deserve it.
Yeah.
Like it's just weird. Like I'm just putting myself in that psychology.
Like the level of weapon, or I guess it's a weapon, but like the ability to control time and space, so powerful. And they're obviously trying their best to hide it, but they put no effort
Yeah.
to basically hide this.
But the
this
thing is, and obviously we're taking the fun out of the scene.
Yes,
but it's
this
true.
takes the fun.
Yeah.
This takes the
Yeah.
air out.
But
of
it is a fun scene. I do like the whole like her swinging on the whatever, like the giant pencil that pokes
Yeah.
into the thing. And like,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
cool.
fun. I'm totally digging this. And then like the statues coming to life, I just don't feel like fits this movie because I feel like you're showing me like, even though there's time travel in it, like this is a down to earth movie, and it's like spirits walking around and statues that come to life, and it's weird to place where I'm at. I don't.
Right.
But
like
it's
it.
like that's why I get confused by like talking about motivations. It's like, why would you have this giant statue that kills people, as opposed to just like burying, like not even putting this thing in a temple, just burying it in the ground,
right.
like just so nobody would find it. If you're gonna put this many obstacles,
Also,
Yeah.
if they're gonna like build this complex or figure out this complex system to make statues come to life, maybe they could put that effort to like hide it better.
yeah, because like if you think about it, okay, in relation to history lesson, Tutankhamun, like when they found King Tut, there were like booby trap.
Oh,
things.
yeah.
But it's not because they don't want anybody to have King Tut. They want to honor his body by being there,
By
but they
making
want to
sure.
make sure that grave robbers don't get to it. So they add those like little booby traps.
Nice.
And it makes sense with like in beginning Indiana Jones. Like
Yeah,
they want to
boulder.
preserve the idol
Yeah.
on its pedestal, but they're going to make it hard for people to get to because they're basically saying like we want people to die if they try to get it.
Right.
Not like it's not like the Olympics where they're like, well, we're just going to challenge the people. Like it's not, and that's what I feel like in
point.
Tomb Raider. It's that way. It's like
Yeah.
challenges, not
small feats to get this thing or whatever.
yeah. And that's Tomb Raider in a
so
nutshell.
she ends up getting her half, and getting out safely. And at this point, I realized this movie is very similar to a better movie, which I watched right after this movie called The Mummy.
Oh, The Firm.
Which one, The Mummy holds up so well. What a blast. And two, like it is very similar. It's about two crews going
Yeah.
after a treasure. It's very similar,
And they
I
do
feel-
get to the supernatural really fast,
Yeah.
but it makes sense for this movie.
Yeah,
For
I bought
that movie.
and the reason like The Mummy works over this, all the characters are like fleshed out characters in The Mummy.
Yeah.
And
They
I
got
don't know if it's a
history
casting
and-
issue or if it's a writing issue.
I think it's a writing issue with Tomb Raider. I had the same problem where I think
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie does a good job. I feel like there's not enough for her to like flesh out. Like she's doing a bang up job for what she has to do in each scene.
Yeah.
Like
I think she does a really good job with it. I think she shows some attitude at points. She shows some like humor. Like she's a fleshed out character, but it could have been more. So I think it is the writing on the. I mean, even like the bad guy, like he feels like a generic bad guy. to
Yeah.
me,
yeah.
which is a bummer.
Where you don't they don't seem like they really exist
They
in the
didn't
real
like
world.
they don't like unveil like the stakes with that guy, like how bad he is. He's just a rich a-hole
Yeah.
that is like throwing some mercenaries at
Pretty much.
Lara Croft. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like The Mummy has an opening that takes place a few years before the story, whereas Lara Croft has a robot fight in the beginning.
Yeah, these
So,
are very two different movies.
So it's
when
like,
you,
one's actually setting up the overall story, whereas one has a useless action scene.
yeah. No, you're right. You're
So
right.
Yeah.
So at this point, so they have the half. Now they're kind of working together, both sides. They're playing both sides. Is that correct?
yeah, they're playing both sides.
Yeah.
With two live crews. There's two. When you said two crews, I was like, oh,
Two Life Crew.
two life
So
crews.
they're kind of working together now. So is this where they go over to the opposite side of?
Are they going to Venice? Did they go to Venice?
Yeah, they go to Venice for like a pit stop. It's weird. Why do they go to Venice?
I don't remember.
Oh wait, hold on. Is this where she gets hurt after she escapes?
Yeah, and then she gets that Buddhist monk to hold that satellite.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
She's like, she's talking to him, and she's like, "Hey, she's like, can you make international calls from here?" And he just stares at her, and she was like, "Oh," she's like, "Do you have a satellite phone?" And he just smiles, and then she gives like this like charming like, and then it like cuts, and I was like, "What was going on?" Like,
She
what
just
was
says
that?
her phone doesn't work.
No, but it's a weird interaction though. It's a very bizarre interaction. But yeah, then it cuts to him, and he's like holding the satellite while she makes a phone call.
Yeah.
And he's just staring. Yeah.
So, trivia, this was supposed to be where there was a second shower scene, and they actually filmed like a nude model
Oh wow.
for this scene, but they're like, oh, we'll get a rated R if we put it out. It's like, no shit.
Why would you need it? That's so
Yeah.
stupid.
Like,
The girl is naked.
yeah, like, oh, we're going to get a rated R for nudity. And it's like, yeah, well, then don't film it.
Well, Matt, that shows you who your audience is. If they're
But that's
like,
why, and it's weird because it's like I feel like at times they aim at that 13-year-old. It's not as I feel like it's not as obvious as Mortal Kombat. Like Mortal Kombat was dumb, and it's aimed at like dumb 13-year-old boys.
Yeah.
And it was a blast to watch
because good is dumb.
because good is good. Yeah,
Nice.
but it's like, that's what I mean, and it's like it is just to its core, just like it's aimed that way, and it's you can enjoy it, and that's fine. I enjoyed watching when I was that age too, but I feel like this movie isn't fully on board about aiming at 13-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like she's more of a. I feel like I can imagine there's been a lot of protesting with Angelina Jolie and like maybe the director of the production team, them trying to push her into more sexier routes. Like she only wears the booty shorts for one scene in the movie,
Okay.
and I'm sure like I know that was a bone of contention was like they were pushing that look,
Right.
and she wears pants for like the rest of the movie.
Right.
So it's like it's not overtly as sexual as like the video games are. I feel like there's, do you get what I'm saying?
I
Yeah.
understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
They're
like
like,
I'm,
they're yeah.
talking to a void here. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. We're just listening to the storyteller.
yeah. So I just feel like it's like maybe there was a lot of pushback from like them to be like, hey, like I don't want to do anything too objectifying.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they do a good job at it. I think like I mean
A good mixed bag for both genders.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. And I think you're right. Mortal Kombat was boys, and this one's kind of like, hey, we can get the video game
Yeah.
nerd boys or whatever, and then, and then
Well,
we
hence
could
Sonya Blade though. Hence Sonya Blade at the end of Mortal Kombat. Like they take the one strong female character in that movie
Also,
and they
she's wearing
turn her
some
into a damsel in distress.
Also,
Right,
she's
yeah,
wearing
yeah.
some short shorts in that movie, and then they put her in that gladiator skirt or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
So there's like
Talk about making such a strong character and then going so weak so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, the last like 40 minutes of this movie is them like going back and forth trying to get this other half.
yeah.
Where did they get the other half at?
Siberia.
Yeah. Which I hate this because they all pull up and they're like wearing these really thick coats. You can tell
And then
it's
she's
freezing.
and then she's wearing like a
This open coat with her hood up.
yeah,
And,
and
I'm
like a sleeveless shirt. Like
how do they? Quick question: how do they find out where to go in Siberia?
I actually don't know because I
feel like I missed that.
All I recall is that they're like, we got to go to Siberia, and they're like, okay.
Because her dad gave her the heads up on where it was in Cambodia. He's like, where that jasmine grows, that's
Okay.
where the temple is.
Gotcha.
So that like there's the hint there, but like the Siberia one kind
I don't really. I know. I
of
haven't
okay.
really,
And okay, what's even weirder? I'll bring this up.
Okay.
They go to like Siberia, and it's this is where the movie eats itself. But they go to Siberia because they call it's like the place of the lost city. So that's
Yeah.
the place where the triangle originated, right?
the second part. Oh, where it actually
Right,
originated.
and like
Yeah.
in the story he tells, he's like, that's where it originated, and it destroyed the city, and they broke it off and separated it on 2 different locations around the world.
Okay.
So by showing that at the end, it makes no sense that like the other piece of the triangle's back in the city
Yeah, right.
because they already told us that they broke it off and separated it to 2 other locations.
But
so
they
it-
just hid one in the actual location. that
yeah,
it's
but
supposed
it's
to be.
actually already in the spot where it needs to be.
That's lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of lazy.
Yeah, one half of that crew that was supposed to split it up didn't do their job apparently.
So is this? Are we at the end of this movie right now? Is this where like
yeah,
the whole?
we're at the end of
It's
it.
getting there.
So this feels very video game-ish to me. But they walk into this room where it's like
These rotating like
globes.
puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have to climb it. Like, it feels like a video game. I think like this
Yeah.
would be a cool level in a video game where you get frustrated, where you keep getting knocked off, you have to keep climbing up.
keep jumping.
Yeah. And so they're trying to get this so they can get the second part of...
They have to plug it into like a specific portion of the globe.
Yes.
And there's a lot of mercenaries that get crushed.
Right.
Hilariously. Like the one guy's like, oh!
Dude, which would be horrible. Squeeze out like a toothpaste thing.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's like...
Oh my god, that's so gross.
Dude, that's what it was.
His
It
skeleton's
was-
just pouring out of his skin.
Guys, can we
Like
take
a
5?
Simpsons
This
thing?
is
Yeah.
disgusting. I don't want
It's
to
like
see this anymore. So everything that happens in the next like 15 minutes is so confusing because they finally get the pyramid.
They just know what to do for some reason.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay. This is what too. Like, I feel like the spectacle that happens in Cambodia,
Yeah.
is a better ending to this movie than what's going on
I think
right
so,
here.
too,
I feel like
yeah.
they did not know what to do.
Like they
in
should have had
this-
the,
in this
the
scene.
yeah.
they should have had like the like they poured all the resources into making magical statues in this inferior location.
Yeah.
They should have put it into the Siberia
Yes,
location.
I agree.
Yeah.
Much more
100%.
bigger threats and everything.
Yeah.
Instead of just like make it collapse like toothpicks, where it just falls apart at the end, I guess.
It is weird that like the biggest supernatural thing pops up in the middle of the movie, and at the end it's just kind of like
Well, they go into
we're already
like
at the home stretch.
they go into like a pyramid at the end.
like a time travel
Yeah.
void. But I also feel like they don't say why like owning this device would be threatening. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel
what
like the
is
motivation of the villain.
What is the actual power that
yeah,
they're
why
trying
does
to
this
do?
bad guy want it? What is...
Yeah, what's he gonna do with it? I feel like that would definitely.
it's
I don't
just-
know his plan.
It's just your
give him
typical like this power
push.
make me a god.
It's no different than, I'll bring it
Yeah.
up again, it's like the main bad guy in Wonder Woman 2. Like,
Oh.
what are you going for?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel threatened by these characters. I don't feel like there's a threat at stake if I don't know what's at stake. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
if
yeah.
that made any sense.
No, that makes it like total sense. Where it's like you don't know what this is and like what the power of it is and why he wants it. What is he gonna use it for?
Yeah. But I do want to take a break, and I want to talk about the soundtrack. Because, Matt, you have the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty dope soundtrack.
It's
like,
solid. It's,
The only one I know is at the end.
Where's
yeah,
your
Basement
head
Jacks.
at? Where's your head
I don't know if that's
Where's
on the
your head?
soundtrack.
I don't
There's a
think it
lot of stuff
was.
on
Yeah.
in the movie that wasn't.
Like,
Oh, really?
Bombs Over Baghdad was on the soundtrack.
Oh, I don't remember this.
There's a really cool Nine Inch Nails song that plays
Yeah,
on
that
it.
was
Wow.
made for the movie.
I
Actually,
missed all these.
that video is awesome too.
That was
Nice.
made for the...
Made for that Nine Inch Nails song.
Oh, interesting.
Really cool. It has nothing to do with Tomb Raider.
yeah.
And the video is just like a really cool. It's like one of the
It's just a
coolest like
song.
video concepts. Where I was
Yeah.
like, this is awesome. This is. But and then Chris's.
you could transport Chris
favorite
back
band.
to 2001 when they did MTV making the video with U2.
oh.
And they... it was... I remember it was
Kiss me, thrill me.
Doop-a-doo-doo.
I like it's like Betty Boop.
Still got it. Yeah, like the whole video for it was you two like interacting with Lara Croft.
Oh.
And there was like an evil Bono. And
It's
like,
pretty goofy.
Oh man,
It's
Bono kind of
goofy.
looks like the main villain in this movie.
Yeah, he
In a way.
does.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, the soundtrack was solid, man. One of the better ones
Cool.
of the Tomb Raiders.
Yeah, and that's what I like. I feel like the movie has more merits than it actually gets. I do want to ask you guys, what do you think of the costume?
Of
Like
hers?
her costumes in this?
They're silly.
fine.
They're silly.
I think they're cool, but I don't like her walking in the snow with this really thin coat on.
Especially
yeah.
when she's like skiing at the end with the dogs.
Yeah.
She's just wearing like cut off t-shirt, and then she's like just wearing like she's in Siberia.
Yeah.
She would be. I mean, we're outside right now, and it's like 40 degrees out.
And I'm wearing
It
two
is
coats.
rough.
Freezing.
Yes.
I feel like, and it's very like all the black in this movie. It's very indicative of what was going on with like Matrix at the
Oh
time.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like there's a couple times where I was like, oh, Matrix.
Yeah.
I think it's a very
Like,
good point. Yeah. And this is
um,
only 2 years later, so of course it was
especially with
inspired.
like some of the hacking scenes that they do in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
robot cyber.
But I feel like they it's weird because like it's a very iconic costume, the Lara Croft costume.
Yeah.
So I think they do an okay job. I think I just don't like all the black because it is Matrix. Your favorite movie, Mission Impossible 2? Same thing.
Yeah, it is black trench coats.
Yeah.
And
It's like
Shootout
Same way
scenes.
with Grandma's Boy.
yeah.
It was-
But it like it's so dated so quick. But like she doesn't look stupid. The only time she looks stupid is that Siberia outfit where I'm like, what the hell is she wearing?
It's a shame because it's a cool scene because they're playing Nine Inch Nails while she's walking up.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, this is cool. And I was like, wait a minute. She's wearing like a windbreaker
Yeah.
in like Siberia.
yeah, and it's like, what's this whole one color thing?
Yeah.
Like there are other colors, and it's like her outfits are always just one color.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, I didn't dig that.
All right, so to conclude the film, though, I don't understand what really happens here because they take the pyramid.
She gets sucked into the pyramid.
Well, no, does she break the pyramid or does she break the clock?
Oh,
What does she
like
break right here?
she
and then
breaks.
she pulls out this little diamond thing. out
Oh,
of it.
she throws like the
clock.
She
It is the clock.
She throws the clock
whatever.
into that time vortex. and it
It
splits
it
apart.
breaks apart.
It's like a key. Yeah, I guess it's a clock, right?
Yeah, and
Because
then
they're
she
not
takes,
sure like
this-
they're not sure like how to actually unlock or like because he's like I got the two pieces and it's like click 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 click.
Yeah.
click. He's like it's not working. And she's like, well, you got to do this because I know how to do it.
It
Because
makes
it was
no
in the
sense
script.
either.
Yeah, it's in the script.
What makes no sense about this whole like void thing that's like going around the room
Yeah.
is when the dog jumps through it.
That thing should have turned into a fly, like the
Right?
fly level, like
Because like
or like Resident Evil, like
if
Oh,
you throw a
I
clock
guess.
into it, right? if you throw a clock into it and it takes it basically dismantles it and the pieces are just floating around.
Right.
oh, so it would
If that
yeah.
dog would have went through, it would
Yeah.
have just been piece like it'd
It
been
sh-
chunks
yeah.
of the dog.
It
just,
should look like
in the cloud.
like a mixture of like the fly
meets
like,
the cell.
or no, like the thing where it's like
Resident Evil?
tentacles and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that would have been very
But
disturbing.
Yeah.
would have been a really cool death scene
Hard
is if
R.
she kicked, like if she was fighting the dude and she kicked him into that
She was like,
void,
"Eat
and
it!"
like it separated his body.
Yeah,
that'd be
that'd
kind
be
of cool.
awesome.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
But I
that'd be
can
cool.
imagine like they don't have the money for like the special effects, so he just wears that costume of. Do you remember that guy from the '90s who were like his
Oh, the Muscle Man?
intestines- Yeah, Muscle Man. His intestines were on
Muscle
the
Man.
outside.
Oh, that was
He's like
creepy.
he's doing like a dance. Like here's about the human anatomy.
That guy went to schools. He went to schools like to teach people.
Oh, I thought you
about
just meant
that.
he went to school.
No.
Like he got education. Like he went to school.
He went to school, dude. He's a really good guy now.
I
he
feel
really
like-
bounced back.
I feel like he's probably on some lists.
He went to schools in that outfit,
That's weird.
and like that's so creepy.
Dude,
I've
very
never,
weird.
like seen it in real life. I'm like, oh,
Does he wear like a trench coat and he's like, okay, here we go, and then
I
just takes
bet.
it off?
I bet you that's how he starts off. Do you guys remember?
Kiss in the
Okay,
back. Oh!
here's a tangent for you. Do you remember like weird assemblies when you were a kid that
I
were
do.
like selling products? Like,
Yeah.
I very specifically remember when a guy came to our school and sold us all yo-yos.
Oh, I
And it
feel
was
like,
like,
that happened a
and
couple
now I'm
times.
thinking about it in retrospect. I'm like, why the fuck? Sorry, that was my one F word. I'm like, why was this dude allowed in schools to sell his yo-yos? Like, what does that have to do with schools?
Dude, I remember we had a. Just
But
as you-
everyone had them.
We had a. It was like an anti-drug like pep rally type thing, and these actors came and they were like, they would do skits, and they would be like, offer each other drugs.
I actually do remember that. I do.
And
I
then
think we did
they
something
would
like that.
all of a sudden go into a song, and they played like Matchbox 20's 3 a.m. and they would like sing it to the crowd.
Really?
And then you go back into another skit
Isn't
about
that
drugs.
song all about like somebody on meth?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think
Um,
it is. Yeah.
Oh,
But-
and so this was when you were in college?
Yes. But it was so weird because it was kind of like nothing was like fluid, and I'm like, why are you going into a Matchbox 20 song like when you're? Like, it was bizarre.
Dude.
That
is
that's Story
weird.
of Blonde you're thinking. Of.
Oh,
Yeah.
what did you say?
Matchbox 20.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, I just remember having like weird assemblies like that, and that you look back in retrospect, and it'd be like, if I was a
Why?
parent, and it'd be like, wait a minute, they wasted 2 hours of your learning
Wait, I'm
time
spending
on yo-yos.
Wait, I'm spending money on what?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the movie, I put the yo-yo conversation aside. Back to the movie.
Yo.
So
Yo.
the only reason she ends up helping him is because he killed Daniel Craig. Is that correct? That's the only reason
Yes.
she's like
Yes.
Because he's like
Because they're-
he was basically like, I don't know how to do this, but I will have the power of God. I can grant your one wish.
Yeah, it's a time
Well,
travel thing.
But
Yeah.
why does she care that Daniel Craig's dead? Like
Because he's a Tomb Raider.
whatever. Like
And
in this,
he's gonna be the next Bond. She wants to watch his movie.
right?
It's like it's weird because there's not a romantic thing going on. I don't know what
They
they're trying to
hint
do here.
at something.
That's what I mean. It's but it's
between
not
them.
enough for you to be like, oh man, like she's got to get him. She got to go back so she can save his life.
Like I hate like movie studio stuff like this because like I feel like it would work better if they were just friends. Like, oh yeah, we work together.
Yeah.
And like we don't need just because
There's
it's a guy and
no-
a girl doesn't mean
They
have
hint
sexual
at,
tension.
They
or
hint
anything.
at a history in their first interaction.
Yeah,
just
hand
because-
stuff.
Yeah, hand stuff.
We did hand stuff.
I'll tell you what you could do. Make him her brother, and who went like he betrayed the family for the money and stuff like that.
But that's too close to Crusade then.
Why?
Because that's like the whole point at the end of Crusade is that like he shoots Sean Connery.
Right.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Indiana Jones will go get the
Yeah,
cut.
that's fair. Okay.
To undo,
So-
basically.
Yeah,
It's
and that's basically what's going on
Yeah,
here.
it is.
It is. But so he dies, falls in the water. She takes apart the clock. She takes this like diamond thing or whatever was in the middle, and she carelessly drops it in the triangle. It is so like, this is what you have to do. And she just like lets it go and it falls perfectly in the
Right.
triangle.
Yeah.
But then this is when she's teleported to the past, sees John Voight, and she's like, "Is this real?" And he's like, "Well, it's your future and my past, whatever."
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
I was trying to like piece-
John Voight's like, whatever, just
Yeah,
continue
whatever.
the movie.
No,
Give me
he
my
said-
paycheck.
yeah.
Yeah, it's my paycheck.
It's my paycheck.
Whatever, it's my paycheck.
It's your past. It's my present. It's my past. It's your
this
present.
paycheck's my future.
It's your past, it's my paycheck.
It's the only scene we're gonna do as father and daughter. So let's just get done with it.
So they talk and they meet, and then for some reason, I don't know if this happened right before, but like her and the main villain are like running up a pyramid.
I don't understand.
It's just. I think it's honestly just visual flair.
It's whoever gets to the pyramid first gets the power of God.
yeah, duh. You didn't know that?
It gets to the top.
Going in.
It's them trying to get to the top of the aggro crag from Global Guts.
Yeah. But that's what it's like, though. I feel like they go into it immediately, and like as a viewer, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, is this part of the challenge?
I guess.
But then again, you know, Indiana Jones doesn't look at the ark opening up, and there's not a single thing in that movie that says that he shouldn't.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
You
bright
just go
light.
with
Maybe
it.
it's too bright.
Just go with it, I guess.
Yeah.
My cataracts.
Like, oh.
So she comes back to the real world where everything's like moving in slow motion.
Reversing, basically.
Yeah, and as like the main villain was throwing a knife, she like turns the knife around so like when everything goes back to normal, the knife will hit him in the
Right.
chest.
Yeah, she doesn't use her palm on the side that doesn't have the blade.
I'm going to say, yeah.
Or
why
take
don't
her
you just, like,
shoe
it's-
off
Yeah.
and like and use her and put her hand in her shoe and push the blade. She just annihilates her hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he falls down like he's gonna die, like he's done with.
Yeah.
And everybody like takes out, like, we gotta get out of here.
Don't you want to know where I got this watch?
Yeah. And then like she comes back, and she's like, all right, what's the story?
Hiya!
And she's like,
But I'll tell you what, if there's one thing we can say about this guy, is this guy loves to lay down. So like,
Oh, he does,
so
yeah.
him
Right.
laying down while he's like stabbed.
He's
is probably,
got
like,
he's got one of his mercenaries squeezing his foot. Like,
He's
you know,
like,
massage.
I've
Don't you want to know
walked-
where I want to get this watch?
wait, come
I've
back.
walked around way too many times, or for way too much time.
Yeah.
I climbed a pyramid today.
Yeah.
I want to lay down.
Well, then he goes, he's like, you don't know where I got this watch? He's like, your dad begged for his life before I killed him. And it cuts back, and her dad is just
did
standing.
what?
Her dad's just standing, like, straight-faced looking at him, like, he's not pleading for his life or
Yeah.
anything. Is very chill and just, like, shoots
Yeah.
him.
Oh, it's a total green screen like jerk off scene.
Yeah.
where they're like, I can imagine the
We need
actors
one
like,
more
what's
scene.
happening.
We need one more scene with John
Yeah.
Voight.
It makes me
Calm.
think of the scene with, remember when the Predator's on top of the pyramids and he was raising
Oh,
his,
yeah.
And it shows, like, all the other Predators at the bottom from Alien vs.
Aw,
Predator, and they're, like,
aw.
cheering him on. And
Man,
everything.
what a cool premise for a movie. But yeah, right.
But-
Isn't that a cool premise?
It's
They end
supposed to
up-
be- yeah.
They end up fighting. How does he die right here? I can't even remember how he ends
He
up
gets
passing.
choked or hit in the neck.
From what?
She breaks his
Oh,
windpipe.
she
yeah,
uses-
yeah. That's
Yeah,
right,
she does like a chop.
Just a kind of-
basically.
yeah.
She's also like hiya, and then he dies.
yeah. No, that was a great audio.
That was
clip.
that was a clip from the movie.
So she escapes with the dogs on the sled, and I like this.
Oh, sorry. I got to cut you off because I was trying to think of it really hard when you said pocket watch. The girl in the pocket watch is Linda Carter.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Really?
I was trying to think of that trivia. I
Did
was
she
like,
do a wink in the camera at
Yeah.
the end of the end credits?
Yep. Wink.
Wonder Woman 84.
I like how it came out like
Wonder Woman 84. That's our movie.
www.84.
But yeah, it's Linda Carter. I don't know if I couldn't find any other information if they
Did not know
shot
that.
scenes with her, but
Okay.
it's obviously Linda Carter. Like,
They spent the budget trying to get John Voight in these scenes, so they couldn't get her.
yeah. Good for John Voight to get Linda Carter though. Like, good for him.
Did they date?
No, I don't know.
In the movie they
in the
did.
movie they did.
I'm over
in the
this.
pocket watch they did.
I'm over this.
I love it because it's like it's probably not even her like real mom. It's a picture of Linda Carter.
Yeah, just
He's
from like
"This
a
was your
yearbook or
mom."
something. Yeah.
My mom was Wonder Woman.
So she escapes on the dogs, and I like this because this is Angelina Jolie giving some character. She's like has a big smile on her face, like she's enjoying going through this like adventure.
And she's
Yeah.
not.
That's
And
cool.
meanwhile, she's like not like my hand. Ah.
Well, she's not like right. Well, she's not just kind of like stone faced trying to be cool about it. She's having a good time. And
Yeah.
that's why she's a Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
I wish
like
they would
that.
have shot this a little bit better, but like
Yeah.
this is kind of
Yeah.
cool. It could have been cooler if they would have shot it
Yeah.
more of like a roller coaster ride, but it's
Right.
kind of it's real choppy and weird.
Well,
As if they only had like
Also, they reused a couple shots, I think.
yeah, it's almost as if they only had like 10 feet of set, and they just
Yeah,
have to keep
exactly
like starting
right.
over at the 10 feet of set, and they're like, just film it like
Rewind
a
it.
bunch of different angles.
Reuse a couple
Okay.
scenes.
well, actually, speaking of, I know we got one scene left and the film's over. But speaking of rides, I traveled to Cincinnati once and did the Tomb Raider ride at Kings Island. And did you guys ever do that?
Is there
Yes.
a Tomb Raider ride in there?
Yeah, it was
Did you ever do
awesome.
the Tomb Raider ride?
I don't think I ever did.
Dude,
It
it
was
was
a cool ride.
a headache.
What was it
I
about?
think it
What
was.
was it about?
Okay, so
what's the premise?
you're on,
So there's this triangle.
Okay.
And it's about time travel.
and John Voight's like, "This is your mom."
Linda
I'm gonna
Carter?
tell her this was her mom, but
I'll do that.
no, it was like the roller coaster. The way it was set up, because it
think
was
I
like pretty
remember this.
legit when it came out.
Was this like does this spin around? And
Yes.
stuff?
Yes.
You're
It was
like,
like-
sitting in this like contraption with like.
Is it
40
bungee? Is it bungee cords? Like jumping up
Oh,
and
that'd
down?
be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
No, you can't do that.
What?
There's like you can do that at like.
Well, it's Drop Zone, or it was Drop Zone.
What?
I don't know. But
We're not from
anyways,
Cincinnati. I'm not from
do you
Cincinnati. I
want
don't
to
know.
describe the damn ride to you?
Just get on with it, and I'll stop interrupting you.
There was 40 people on the ride. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Just explain, or else I'm going to keep cutting you off.
I know. And you're just in this contraption and just moves all up and
Okay.
down in this
It's
like
fun.
tower.
Because it's just like a stationary thing, and it's just like the seat.
Yeah.
It's like rotating.
Dude, we legit sound like a bunch of 13-year-old boys describing like the awesomest
It's
roller
only
coaster.
this one
It was
part.
crazy. There was this part where it went upside down.
Oh my gosh! And the seat's stationary.
And the blood rushes to your head.
What? Are you kidding me?
I spilled my Faygo everywhere.
What? They allow
go.
drinks on the rides?
By the way, I think we should start doing like advertisements for our podcast.
Yeah.
But but non-advertisements.
For the
And we'll
Tomb
do-
Raider, hey, if you want to go to the Tomb Raider ride, we endorse it.
They took it
4
down.
years ago when it
4
was
years
taken down. This episode is brought to you by Fruitopia. Topia.
We talk about Faygo and milk money so much, we should start like fake advertising for them. Like we do, they don't sponsor us.
Coming
but
soon to a theater
drink
near
it,
you.
drink it, and watch it.
So the film ends with Angelina Jolie is visiting her father's grave, and she's got this I think it's a very pretty white dress that she has on. And this whole thing is supposed to be like, oh, she's
Can you describe it a little bit more?
I thought about it. I really
Gorgeous.
thought this
It's
dress.
gorgeous.
I thought it was
It's like,
gorgeous.
What is that a callback to?
I don't know. I thought it was a really pretty dress.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be like, oh, she's very ladylike now. And then like her butler drops this tray of tea because he's like, oh, she has a dress on.
Oh my gosh.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like the newly fixed robot that her
Yeah.
buddy created comes out of nowhere. It's like, where's
Because I think he has
your
I think he
head?
brings the tray and it takes off the thing and it's like two guns. She's like, oh, I know.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then it's
Okay.
like, where's your head?
Where's your head at? And it's a very abrupt, weird ending. And then it goes into U2, and then that's Tomb Raider
Kiss
2001.
me,
Yeah.
kill me.
Boo-doop, boo-doop.
Is it okay? Before we get to letter grading, is this movie as bad as you guys? After talking about it, is it as bad as you guys
This
like?
movie is effing terrible.
Okay,
Really?
well, hold on.
This
Let's do
is
our percentages
terrible.
real quick. So it had a 20% Rotten Tomatoes. Hanto, what do you give it?
This is like 10%. Like
Okay. What
even
do you-
maybe even lower.
I'd give it like a 60.
What?
I don't know. 10%'s like,
What?
dude. What is it? I want to hear your 10%.
I would give it a 35%. I would say it was
Wow.
better than Mortal Kombat.
This movie is effing terrible.
Yeah,
Really?
but what is bad about it? I feel like I haven't heard you complain
refer
about
to
anything
the,
in the movie
refer
so
to
far.
the podcast.
No, but I feel like I
Because I'm
haven't
having a good time talking about it.
because I feel like
I'm having a good time talking about it.
what is like your biggest negative takeaway from the movie?
Story is nonsensical.
The story is pretty rough. I agree.
It's like
Yeah.
like the pacing is the fact that they just jump around from location to location makes no sense to me.
Indiana Jones.
Well, especially if they have 66 they only have 66 hours 66 hours
Yes,
to
I will say that I was not aware of the time frame when watching this until you
Yeah.
guys brought it up on the podcast.
Well, at first it's a week. He's like, you have a week. He's like,
Yeah.
you'll have it for the rest of the week. Great. And then he's done. All of a sudden, it's like you
yeah,
have
but then
15
they're like
hours.
they're
They go
just
to
like
Italy for
lounging
no
around
reason.
getting massages, and then they know time is of the essence.
It's
like,
weird.
But yeah, it's just like the actions is lackluster for sure. I guess it's like everything that like what makes Indiana Jones great. This fails at miserably.
Yes, I will say that it's unfortunately very hard for movies like this to go up against Indiana Jones because Indiana Jones
It's
is
just
like perfect.
it's impossible.
But like the Mummy is pretty damn close.
I would say yes.
I would say
for
the
sure.
Mummy is like right there where it's like, yeah, this is.
But
about-
again, that came out I think 2 or 3 years
2 years
before.
99.
And it's like now they have to try to figure out something more creative to do with their movie.
Yeah.
And they also fail at that miserably.
Yeah. And then honestly, that's all like Lara Croft is like she was supposed to be as just a female Indiana Jones.
Yeah, the fact that like you said, no tomb rating. There's like rarely any.
Yeah,
tomb
there's like
rating.
no tomb rating.
That's what was weird. Yeah,
I'm
it
here
looked.
to
I think I
watch.
looked it up. It was that was Mortal Kombat. There's no fighting in Mortal Kombat. They don't get to the island until like 40 minutes into that movie.
Yeah, that's
which is
crazy.
weird.
Yeah,
But this one was the same way. It's like Tomb Raider. Cool. Let's go room these tombs. Yeah.
go get the Roomba. We're gonna room some tombs.
But it does. It takes like 45 minutes to get to Cambodia, and it's like, get there. Come on.
Yeah,
They
I
could
would.
have. Yeah, they
I
spent
would
like.
say, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say they spent like 10 minutes just fighting a robot in the beginning. It has no bearing other than do a Basement Jaxx song at the end.
The second Tomb Raider is that way, and the new Tomb Raider is that way. And the problem
Robots?
is no, just like lack of tombs.
Basement Jaxx?
Oh,
Like I honestly give
Basement
me a
Jaxx?
Tomb Raider movie that is like it starts off.
oh,
with
are we
her-
going into your dream?
Yeah, this is my dream Tomb Raider movie. Give me a Tomb Raider movie where it starts off with her like in a pyramid.
Yeah.
And the whole movie's that.
Established.
The whole movie
like,
is her like
established.
trying to get out of the pyramid.
Yeah.
Like that would be awesome. Like she gets the treasure like 20 minutes in,
That's
and
what's-
the whole movie is her trying to get out.
Yeah, that's what's awesome about the opening to Raiders is like it's them going to the temple or whatever
Yeah.
to get an artifact, and it's like opens up with a very pulse pounding scene of him like escaping this thing, this like boulder, gets chased by the tribesmen and everything. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's one hell of an ending or beginning.
I will say this too.
There's more?
Oh my god, there's more.
So this movie got a PG-13 rating, but she doesn't kill anybody with guns in the entire movie.
She uses a bunch of bungee cords and
Yeah, she'll shoot at him, but she doesn't kill him.
yeah, she
I would
shoots
love
screwdrivers,
like
I think.
John Woo style
Oh
shootouts.
yeah, that'd be bad.
in a Tomb Raider movie.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be
Like,
great.
double pistols, just
Doing front flips and everything like she does in the game.
hard boiled it, going down the staircase, like that would be sweet.
Doves and everything.
And I will say
love
that
it.
like she does a good job being a badass. Like,
Yeah.
I will say that she seems like she can hold her own. But I think what I would really want out of it too is like hire somebody like was it Gina Carano?
Yeah,
Or
Gina Carano.
from Mandalorian.
Yeah.
When she did the movie Haywire,
Oh man,
Yeah.
the action in that is crazy.
she
Really?
kicks ass in
Yeah,
that
she
movie.
does.
Not a very good movie, but she kicks ass in
Okay,
it, and it's
okay.
like worth watching just for her. And also, I think Soderbergh directed that, right?
Yeah, it is.
But you can, and it's all basically a movie designed around how awesome, how like badass
Oh,
she
she
is.
kicks the
in real
ever
life.
living hell out of Michael Fassbender in that movie. It's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But like, give me somebody like that, and then teach them how to act, as opposed to like teaching
Get a high-profile
somebody,
actor.
an actor, how to fight.
Yeah.
So like, I would love to watch somebody like her in a role like that, where she just, she kicks ass, and it'd be like basically be like a Jackie Chan
Yeah.
Tomb Raider movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're watching this female
To
stunt
set up the
actor
next
doing all these
the-
stunts.
Set up the action
And with
because like
gunfights and
because like
Tomb
the
Raiding.
raid movies, they're not like there's not really acting. You're there for the action, and they get the point across real fast. We talked
Yeah.
about the raid in the last episode, where it's like you just need high octane action scenes, and this movie lacks all of that.
I agree with that. I mean,
Yeah.
it does have some good stuff. We're going to talk some positives. Angelina Jolie is a good pick. I think she does a good job with what she has.
She does a really good job.
I do support that. Anything with the U2 song gets a star for me
that gets 50% automatically.
automatically.
So you're like
So this
technically
movie
you're
has 110%.
oh my god! No, I was gonna say technically you're at 10%, but since that U2 it's 50, so you're
Right,
at 60.
exactly. So, but yeah, I think it's okay for what it is. It has so much potential. It's a shame. I'm interested in seeing the second one though.
It's not good. The second one's very dark and
Gerard
boring.
Butler is a
Gerard
bad guy?
Butler's- It's very weird, like a weird tempoed movie. You can see why it didn't go anywhere after the second one.
Okay.
But they do stuff like the way that Tom Cruise does the Mission Impossible movies. I feel like in these movies,
Like what?
they do it's like stunt shows. Where
Okay.
It's like, I remember like when 2 came out and everyone's like, they do these squirrel suits, like flying squirrel suits.
Oh, okay.
And there's a big deal.
Like
and they do them in the movies.
triple X, like
Yeah.
crazy stunts. And
So
stuff.
Man, talk about a future podcast, man.
Is it?
Paramount.
I love
I
Triple
wouldn't mind
X.
doing that.
All right, so that's going to go ahead and wrap up our coverage of Tomb Raider 2001. Join us next episode. We went back and forth between Resident Evil and Silent Hill, and we decided to conclude our video game month with Silent Hill, which I remember being awesome. Matt remembers being awesome. Honto says doesn't hold up.
I just watched it in October.
So I am very excited to watch this.
I will watch it again as from a standpoint of an episode.
Okay, that's cool. So join us next episode where we cover Silent Hill. If you have any requests, hit us up on Facebook. You can email us at
CinemaCultPodcast@gmail.com.
And we're also available now on YouTube. We're doing some video episodes. We're going to do a video episode a month. And we're also on Spotify now and iTunes, which we're very excited about. But thank you so much for listening. We hope you're having a great year so far. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Ahanto.
And we'll see you next time.
Get it? Like,
I think there's copyright issues.
do we have to have our eyes opened up when we're playing?
Wait, we have to talk while we play video games? You gotta play with your hands?
Basically, it's like what.
Say one more time.
Dude,
Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me okay?
check. Can you
Check
hear
out
me?
my melody.
Yeah.
Check.
Check out my melody.
Check up.
The melody. Okay, ready?
Tomb Raider.
Doom Raider. Yeah, I think that's an actual song from this movie.
Spoon Raider.
Room Raiders.
Next!
This is true life.
Dude, another hit
I'm a
soundtrack
podcast.
on this one, too, by the way, guys.
Oh, I'll talk about it.
All right, ready?
Well, I'm waiting for sirens.
As if the crime is happening for 2 hours. We're not gonna be able to record this episode.
It's a
Can you imagine
shootout.
being on scene?
It's like Heat.
Sound, it's like, woo! Like, turn off the sirens.
In this scene,
We're in a Heat level shootout.
We're gonna record the video while we play the game.
just listen to me.
Just follow along, for the love of God.
You got permission from PlayStation?
Don't ask questions. Just listen.
You know John Sony?
Are you Marty McFly?
Are we
Let
ready?
me explain it again. Bull!
Are we ready?
Yeah, I'm good. Welcome back to Cinema Cult. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Honto.
And welcome to the...
And welcome back. And welcome back.
And I'm Chris.
And welcome back. With this internal loop.
All right, 3, 2, 1.